Pisces, last warning, end. This cycle tonight or be locked in fate. Pisces, this is not a comfort video. This is not reassurance. This is your final warning. What you are hearing right now is not coincidence, not algorithm, not random timing. If this video has found you tonight, it means you have arrived at a closing point, a moment where fate pauses, looks directly at you, and waits to see whether you will finally end what must end, or carry it forward into another locked cycle. There is no gentle way to say this. The karmic loop surrounding you does not have much time left. Not weeks, not months. Tonight. You've felt it already. That strange pressure in your chest. The sense that something familiar is circling back again. Same energy, same emotional weight, same unfinished pain, wearing a new mask. Pisces, you have been here before. You told yourself you would let go. You promised this time would be different. You even felt strong for a moment. And yet somehow quietly, without a dramatic collapse, you stayed. You waited. You hoped. You delayed. And the cycle survived because of that delay. This is why this moment matters. Right now, the energy around you is compressing. Astrologically, spiritually, karmically, the forces that rule endings and illusions are both active. Neptune, the ruler of your sign, has been blurring the line between intuition and attachment, making old bonds feel sacred even when they are draining. Pluto, the planet of irreversible transformation, is pressing from below, forcing a choice you can no longer postpone. Together, they create a loop that repeats the same person, the same pattern, the same wound until consciousness breaks it. Not time, not distance, only awareness and action. If you are watching this and your heart rate feels slightly faster than normal, that is not fear, it is recognition. Your soul knows what this is. It recognizes the moment when destiny narrows. When options disappear, not because you are punished, but because you were warned enough times. Pisces, not everyone receives a signal before a karmic door closes. Many people wake up years later inside a life they never meant to choose. The fact that you are here means you are still standing at the threshold. Listen carefully. This cycle does not end by itself. It ends when you end it. And if you do not, it does not simply fade away, it locks in. It becomes your emotional baseline, your relational pattern, your financial rhythm, your sense of worth. What you tolerate tonight becomes what repeats tomorrow. This is not philosophy. This is how karmic momentum works. In Buddhist insight, suffering does not come from fate. It comes from attachment. Not love. Attachment. The refusal to release what has completed its role. Pisces, your compassion is not the problem. Your loyalty is not the problem. The problem is confusing endurance with virtue. You were not born to suffer beautifully. You were born to awaken. If you skip this message, nothing dramatic will happen immediately. And that is the danger. The universe does not scream when cycles lock. It whispers. It waits. It allows you to drift back into what is familiar. And one day, you realize the same lesson has followed you for years, wearing different faces. That is why this feels heavy now. That is why tonight feels different. This is not anxiety, it is a countdown. Take a breath, right now, slowly, and ask yourself one honest question. What is the one thing you keep hoping will change, even though it never has? The answer that surfaced, that is, the cycle, and the discomfort you feel acknowledging it. That is the door opening. Pisces, if you are still here, it means some part of you is ready to choose differently. ready to stop carrying a contract that expired long ago, ready to protect your future instead of explaining your past. This message is not here to scare you, it is here to activate you, to remind you that destiny is not something that happens to you, it is something you participate in. In the next moments of this video, you will understand exactly what must end, why this timing matters, and how to step out without fear. But before we go further, anchor yourself here. If this resonates, stay. If your intuition is pulsing, don't scroll away. And if you feel called, let the universe know you are listening like this. Subscribe to this channel and share it with another Pisces who may be standing at the same invisible gate. Each action is not just engagement, it is intention. And intention changes timelines. Because if your heart is beating louder right now, this message was meant for you. Pisces. What you are experiencing right now is not random, and it is not because you are weak, unlucky, or destined to suffer. It is repeating because it is unfinished. Every soul moves in cycles, but yours moves in long ones. Deep emotional karmic arcs that do not reset quickly. What you are standing inside of now is a 12-year karmic loop, and this moment marks the final repetition before the pattern hardens into fate. This is not fear-based language. This is how soul contracts work when they approach closure. Think carefully about what has been resurfacing in your life. A familiar person reappearing out of nowhere. A message, a memory, a dream that feels far too vivid to ignore. The same emotional ache, the same sense of being pulled back into something you thought you had already survived. Pisces repetition is never punishment. It is instruction. The universe repeats lessons only when they have not yet been embodied. Astrologically, this makes perfect sense. Neptune, your ruling planet, governs memory, illusion, longing, and the desire to redeem the past. When Neptune is activated, it whispers a dangerous thought into your subconscious. Maybe this time, I can fix it. Maybe if you say the right thing. Maybe if you love harder. Maybe if you stay quieter. Maybe if you sacrifice just a little more. Neptune does not lie outright, it distorts. It wraps old pain in spiritual language and calls it destiny. At the same time, Pluto is moving through a position that does not negotiate. Pluto does not heal gently. It transforms by pressure. It brings endings that cannot be reversed once they are completed. And when Pluto intersects your karmic axis, it creates a test with only two outcomes: conscious release or unconscious entrapment. There is no middle path here. Waiting is a choice. Silence is a choice. Endurance is a choice. And every choice feeds the loop. This is why the same type of pain keeps returning in a new form. Different name, different timing, same emotional signature. Pisces, you are not unlucky in love or life. You are loyal beyond reason. You give until something breaks, and usually that something is you. Your instinct to save, to soften, to absorb suffering for others is not a flaw. But when it is applied to a situation that has already expired, it becomes the very glue that holds the karmic cycle together. Understand this clearly. What you are facing is not love. It is not a romantic destiny, not a soulmate story meant to be endured, not a beautiful tragedy. It is a soul examination, a moment where the universe asks a single question: will you continue to confuse sacrifice with purpose, or will you finally choose alignment? The answer determines whether this pattern dissolves or follows you into the next chapter, wearing a new disguise. If you remain silent now, the universe will not argue with you. It will decide for you. Karma is neutral. It does not chase or beg. It simply completes momentum, and momentum favors what is familiar, not what is healthy. This is why doing nothing is the most dangerous option. Not because something terrible will happen instantly, but because something will quietly settle into permanence. From a Buddhist perspective, suffering does not arise from circumstance. It arises from clinging to who someone was, clinging to who you were when you first met them, clinging to the version of the future you imagined but never lived. Pisces attachment can feel spiritual, noble, even loving, but attachment is still bondage. Compassion without boundaries becomes self-erasure. You may tell yourself that you are staying because you are kind, because you understand, because you see the good others miss. But the deeper truth is, this part of you is afraid of what happens after release, afraid of the silence, afraid of the unknown, afraid that if you let go completely, something essential will be lost. Pluto is here to teach you that the opposite is true. What is lost is not love, it is illusion. Notice how your body reacts when you imagine truly ending this cycle. There is fear, yes, but there is also relief. That relief is your intuition. That soft exhale is your soul recognizing freedom. The discomfort you feel now is not a warning to stop it, is confirmation that you are approaching the exit. Pisces, you are not being punished for past choices. You are being offered a final opportunity to choose differently while the door is still open. This is why the signs are so clear. This is why the timing feels intense. This is why this message feels personal. The universe does not repeat lessons forever. It repeats them until awareness arrives. If this is resonating, do not retreat into passivity. Stay present. Engage consciously. Let your energy speak before your fear does. You can anchor this awareness right now by acknowledging it, by choosing to remain awake, by liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and sharing this message with another Pisces who may be circling the same karmic doorway. These are not empty gestures. They are signals of intention. And intention is the force that collapses loops. Remember this as we move forward. You are not trapped. You are standing at the edge of release. You are not cursed. You are being trusted with a choice. And the fact that you are here listening, feeling, recognizing, means the cycle has already begun to loosen its grip. You are not being punished. You are being given your last clean chance to step free. Pisces. There is a truth that ancient prophecies repeat in different languages across different eras, and it is never spoken loudly. It is whispered because it is meant to be felt. The truth is this: souls who delay necessary endings are not punished immediately. They are slowly assigned a role they never meant to play. That role is the victim. Not because they are weak, but because they keep waiting for circumstances to change instead of choosing to change themselves. Prophecy does not predict events the way people imagine. It describes patterns, and the pattern is clear. When a soul hesitates at the moment of closure, fate does not rush. It circles. It repeats. It brings the same lesson back wearing a different face until the soul finally recognizes the cost of staying. Destiny rarely strikes with lightning. It teaches through repetition. This is why your situation feels familiar in a way that is unsettling. Pisces, you sense it deeply. This isn't new pain. It is recycled pain. Same emotional temperature, same confusion, same quiet self-abandonment disguised as patience. The prophecy speaks directly to this moment, not as a threat, but as a mirror. Those who refuse to end what has expired are not trapped by destiny. They are trapped by delay. Understand this. Fate does not punish immediately because immediate punishment would wake you too fast. Instead, it allows comfort to coexist with discomfort. It allows familiarity to feel safer than freedom. It allows you to say, I can manage this, while slowly draining your vitality. That is how karmic roles solidify not through trauma alone, but through tolerance. Pisces is especially sensitive to this pattern because of your compassion. You remember who someone was at their best. You feel their pain as if it were your own. You sense potential and confuse it with responsibility. Prophecy has always described your sign as the most merciful and therefore the most vulnerable to cycles that feed on mercy without reciprocity. This is not a flaw, but it becomes dangerous when compassion is offered to situations that have already completed their spiritual purpose. Here is the consequence the prophecies warn about, not dramatically, but clearly. The longer an ending is delayed, the more energy leaks away. First, emotional energy, then mental clarity, then financial stability, then direction. Nothing collapses all at once. Instead, life begins to feel slightly harder than it should. Motivation fades, opportunities pass quietly, money flows out faster than it returns, and you cannot explain why because nothing bad is happening. Yet nothing truly good can land either. This is how destiny tightens its grip, not by force, but by narrowing options. There is a profound difference between one clean wound and 1,000 quiet cuts. Ending something tonight may hurt sharply, briefly, honestly. Staying hurts slowly, endlessly, invisibly. Prophecy does not favor the path without pain. It favors the path that ends pain. And Pisces, you have already paid enough. Right now, this cycle is at a crossing point. Energetically, spiritually, karmically, you are standing at the hinge of the door. This is the moment when timelines diverge. One path leads into repetition with diminishing returns. The other leads into uncertainty, but with space for new alignment. After tonight, the door does not slam. It closes softly, gently, almost politely, and that is what makes it so dangerous. Because once it closes, it does not reopen for the same lesson. It simply reappears later, heavier, more entangled, harder to escape. Picture this clearly. A door closing without noise, no drama, no argument, just the quiet understanding that something is no longer available. This is how fate locks patterns, not through chaos, but through completion ignored. Buddhist wisdom teaches that attachment creates rebirth, not physical rebirth, but situational rebirth. The same suffering born again in a new form. Pisces clinging to what has ended is not loyalty. It is resistance to impermanence, and impermanence is not cruelty. It is mercy. It allows life to move. If you feel chills as you hear this, that is not fear. That is recognition. Your soul understands prophecy not as prediction, but as warning with compassion. You are not being told what will happen. You are being shown what can be avoided. This is why the timing matters. This is why tonight matters. This is why you are hearing this now and not later. You do not need to know the future. You do not need proof. You do not need certainty. You only need to recognize that this is the decision point. Stay present. Do not drift. Do not minimize what you feel. If this message is activating something inside you, anchor it. Like this video to signal awareness. Subscribe to protect your future timing. Share this message with another Pisces whose heart may be circling the same invisible doorway. These actions are not about the platform, they are declarations of readiness. Because destiny does not ask for perfection. It asks for courage at the right moment. And Pisces, this is that moment. Pisces, before you take the next step, you need to understand something essential, something the Buddha taught quietly while the world was searching for louder answers. Suffering does not arise from fate. It arises from attachment. Not from what happens to you, but from what you refuse to release after its season has ended. Tonight, what you are feeling is not weakness, and it is not fear. It is awareness knocking for the last time before the door closes. You have been carrying pain not because life is cruel, but because you have been loyal to what no longer exists. Not to what is, but to what was. Pisces, your suffering has never come from the present moment. It comes from memory, from longing, from replaying moments that once felt meaningful and asking them to keep giving when they are already empty. Buddhism does not call this love. It calls this clinging. Let this sink in. Letting go is not betrayal. Letting go is not giving up. Letting go is not failure. Letting go is the moment you stop feeding old karma with fresh energy. Karma is not punishment. It is momentum. And momentum only continues when it is nourished. Each time you revisit the past, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you add fuel to a fire that was meant to burn out long ago. That is why tonight feels intense. That is why emotions are rising without invitation. That is why memories surface suddenly, vividly, almost painfully. This is not regression. This is revelation. Strong emotions appear when attachment is being exposed at the root. The universe is not trying to drown you, it is trying to show you what you are still holding. Pisces, notice how quickly your mind tries to escape discomfort, how it wants to distract, to numb, to rationalize, to say, "I'll think about this later." But later is the favorite hiding place of karma. When you run, the lesson does not disappear. It simply waits, grows, and returns louder. If you avoid seeing the truth tonight, it will return wearing a sharper face. But if you stay, if you face the discomfort without reacting, something extraordinary happens. Karma dissolves faster than you ever imagined. Not slowly, not painfully, but suddenly, like fog lifting when the sun rises. Buddhism teaches that awareness burns karma, not struggle, not self-blame, awareness. Right now, you are being asked to practice something simple and powerful. Observe. Do not react. Do not decide while emotions are loud. Do not send the message. Do not replay the story. Do not promise yourself anything. Just observe. Watch the feeling rise. Watch it peak. Watch it pass. You will notice something shocking. The emotion cannot survive without your participation. This is freedom. You are not here to suffer endlessly for lessons you already learned. You are here to integrate them and move on. Pisces, your compassion was meant to heal, not to chain you to cycles that drain your life force. Your sensitivity was meant to guide, not to trap you in guilt and nostalgia. There is a subtle lie many kind souls believe, that holding on proves depth, that staying proves strength, that enduring proves worth. Buddhism dismantles this illusion gently but firmly. Endurance without awareness is not virtue, it is bondage. And you were not born to be bound. Take a breath right now, slowly. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw relax. And hear this clearly: nothing essential will be lost when you let go. What leaves was never meant to stay. What remains will be lighter, clearer, stronger. Space is not emptiness. Space is invitation. This is how cycles end, not with force, not with drama, not with anger, but with quiet, conscious release. The moment you stop arguing with impermanent suffering loosens its grip. The moment you stop feeding the past, the future can finally reach you. Pisces, say this gently inside yourself, even if you do not fully believe it. Yet I choose freedom instead of repetition. Feel how your body responds. That response is truth. And know this, your awareness tonight is already shifting your timeline. Staying present, listening, allowing, these are acts of power. If this message resonates, anchor it. Let your intention move beyond thought. Like this video to affirm your awareness. Subscribe to protect your future timing. Share this with another Pisces whose heart may be heavy with the same invisible weight. These are not small actions. They are declarations that you are ready to live forward, not backward. Do not leave yet. The final part is not about theory. It is about action, about sealing this shift, about locking the door behind you so the past cannot follow. Pisces, the path out is open. Stay with me. Pisces, if you are still here, you have arrived at the exact moment your soul has been waiting for. Not earlier, not later, now. This is not the end of a video. It is the beginning of a decision. Everything you felt up to this point was preparation. Everything you recognized was confirmation. And everything that happens next depends on what you choose tonight. Close your eyes for just a moment. Gently. No effort, no force. Take one slow breath in through your nose and let it fill your chest. Then release it slowly through your mouth. As you breathe out, allow one image to rise, the thing you have been afraid to end. The attachment you keep explaining. The connection you keep justifying. The chapter you keep saying you'll close soon. Let it appear without judgment. You don't need to analyze it. You don't need to fix it. Just see it clearly. Now hear this: releasing tonight does not erase love memories or meaning. It simply ends the agreement to carry pain forward. Karma does not need drama to dissolve. It needs decision. And decision only needs one clean moment of truth. This is that moment. Say this quietly inside yourself, even if your voice trembles: I release tonight. I do not carry this karma into tomorrow. Feel the weight shift. Subtle, gentle, real. That sensation lightness mixed with fear is the threshold. It means the old cycle is loosening its grip. Pisces, understand what you are doing right now. You are not just watching. You are participating. Energy moves where attention commits. When you name an ending, you interrupt momentum. When you choose release, you change direction. This is not symbolic. This is how timelines pivot. If you want to lock this shift, if you want to anchor it beyond thought and emotion, take the action that seals intention. Comment below with these exact words: I end this karmic cycle tonight. Type it slowly, deliberately. Each word is a line drawn between who you were and who you are becoming. Every comment is a signal sent upward, outward, and inward, telling the universe you are done negotiating with the past. This is not about this platform. It's about declaration. When intention is spoken, karma loses ambiguity, and when ambiguity ends, repetition stops. Now don't keep this gate to yourself. Share this video. There is another Pisces standing where you stood hours ago, confused, heavy, circling the same door without knowing how to open it. Sharing is not noise. Sharing is protection. When one soul chooses release, it creates permission for others to do the same. That is how collective cycles collapse. And subscribe to this channel not out of habit, but out of foresight. Because the next cycle will not announce itself. The next opening will not wait. Staying connected keeps you aligned with timing, not urgency. Awareness arrives when you stay receptive. Let this land tonight passes quickly. The hours will blur, the world will quiet, and tomorrow will arrive as it always does. But karma remembers hesitation. It remembers silence. It remembers delays dressed up as patience. If you do nothing, the cycle continues not as punishment, but as completion postponed. This is your clean exit. You don't need to know what comes next. You don't need guarantees. You don't need approval. All you need is the courage to end what has already ended within you. The universe responds to clarity faster than it responds to hope. If your chest feels lighter right now, trust that. If tears came without warning, trust that. If fear softened into calm, trust that. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Stay with this feeling, anchor it, breathe once more, and remember, you are not losing anything essential tonight. You are protecting your future. You are reclaiming your energy. You are choosing forward motion over familiar pain. Pisces, this door does not slam. It closes softly. And once it closes, peace takes its place. Don't let tonight drift by unnoticed. Declare, comment, share, subscribe, and walk forward lighter than you've been in years, because ending tonight is how freedom begins.